allow me to go to the next part of the discussion. And I'd like to call our moderator, Andrew Lewela, CEO KeNIC, to take us through. Karibu sana sa. Makofi tafadhali ya bwana CEO anapokuja.
Asante sana bwana Chipukizi. To our chief guest, Prime Cabinet Secretary, our governor and your team, Principal Secretary, ICT and the Digital Economy, wananchi hamjambo. I'm glad to be here in Embu. And very quickly, I'll call upon my panelists. It's an exciting panel with the young and the old to make their way. I think they know themselves, but I'll go through my list very quickly. I'll start with the acting CEO at Konza Technopolis, Bwana JP, Karibu, John Paul. Quickly following him, CEO ICT Authority, Stanley Kamanguya, Karibu. We have one of our beneficiaries from the Ajira program, Faith Mukami. Please make your way. Bwana Morris Mwiti, Gamma Solutions CEO, representing the youth in tech-enabled MSMEs. Karibu sana. And we have from Google, Bwana Michael Murungi, Government Affairs and Public Policy Lead. Karibu. And from the county of Embu, we have Bwana Martin Njeru, who is the ICT Chief Officer and Governor Delivery Unit. I think my team is complete. Bwana Chipukizi, because this is ICT, we'll do some exciting things and move very quickly, and hopefully plenary pia waweze kuuliza maswali. So a good place for me to start will be on the government side, and then we'll have the youth and private sector respond. I'll start with you, Stanley. The government is talking a lot about the digital economy. For yule mwananchi ambaye yuko hapa, for the MSMEs, please unpack for us what this digital economy is. We know you have a blueprint you've recently launched. What does it mean to the people of Embu and Kenya, please?
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. And everybody, good afternoon. The digital economy is basically our view in terms of the way technology is going to enable every sector of our economy, from agriculture, trade, education, and so on, to be able to take advantage of the opportunities that exists in the digital space. In very few words, that is what the digital economy is all about. And we believe that this space is going to be the biggest and the next frontier of growth for all sectors. And for us, we have set up a number of initiatives for us to support the digital economy. And if you allow me, moderator, I'm just going to quickly run through 3 of them. The first one is around connectivity, where our main objective is to increase connectivity across the country and also reduce the costs of that connectivity. I think yesterday you heard His Excellency the President talking about the issue of public Wi-Fi, which we are providing across all markets and all open areas for the traders and people in business to be able to have access, free access to the internet. But even as we do that, the small and medium enterprises who are also operating offices also need connection at affordable rates. So we also have other programs where we are driving connectivity reach. Now, in terms of spurring trade, we are saying providing connectivity alone is not sufficient. We need to bundle it with the services that needs to be consumed through this connectivity. For the traders and the small-scale traders and businesses, we have a number of platforms which we have developed. One of them is an e-commerce portal where traders can be able to go online, register, and be able to break the boundaries, the physical boundaries. So for example, if you're in Embu, you can be able to register on the portal, put your merchandise online, and that immediately gives you access not only to customers in the country, but also customers across the world. So we are breaking that trade barrier through technology. Already, we have onboarded a number of traders in Embu. We have an exhibition booth here where we are onboarding traders, but you can get the services online through gconnectsoko.go.ke, and you can be able to interact with it. The other aspect is the work that we are doing to bring services of government online. And I'm glad that KRA has already touched on some of the automation efforts that are ongoing. And the reason why we're doing this first is for businesses to be able to go into one place and, for example, be able to do all their business registration and make interactions easier. You had the issue of moving from one office to another when people want to register. So that will also ease, promote the ease of doing business, but also allow, when we do business registration with integration with the tax systems, the county systems, will allow also compliance so that the county people and also the KRA people don't have to come and chase the traders. All that will also lead to, increase in revenue. The third and maybe more critical area which we are supporting businesses in is the area of digital skills. Because we are saying, even if you are a trader and we give you internet and you don't know how to use the internet, you don't know what to do with it, then we will not be helping you. So we have a very elaborate program to train our citizens on the basic skills. Then we move to the area of online jobs. And we have the Ajira program, which has been running by government. I know most of you know about the Ajira program. But what we have seen is the kind of jobs that our young people are doing are mostly data entry, transcriptions, and so on. There are a lot of other interesting and more revenue-generating jobs that are online, including the issues of digital content and digital marketing, which we are training, our young people to take advantage of and be able to scale. I think in the interest of time, I'll take a pause there, and then I can allow the panelists to proceed.
Thank you, Stanley, for painting that picture of what the digital economy is and what it portends to Mwananchi. We have a testimony here for what you just mentioned there on the Ajira program. Faith, I understand you're from Bere. You finished your Form 4. You embarked on this journey on the Ajira program. In 2 or 3 minutes, tell us what your experience was and what was that, can I call it, the final destination. What has it meant for you? Have you realized the benefits of a Ajira program? Please share with the youth.
Okay, thank you, moderator. His Excellency, all protocols observed. Good afternoon. My name is Faith, as you've heard. I'm a Form 4 leaver. I left Form 4 back in 2017. Hustle, teseka, kidogo, kidogo, until I learned about Ajira in 2021, January. That is when I was trained and mentored. And 2021, as from March, I started working as a transcriber in the Judiciary Pilot Project. I think you've all heard about it. My journey is quite kadogo. So I'll say the Ajira program has benefited me as an individual in terms of employment. Because as you all know, in Kenya, kupata job ni ngumu, and we have people who can maybe anaweza kuambia kuna job opportunity, but if I go and tell someone unaweza nisaidia nipate job fulani, they ask me uko na papers, and so it's kind of hard since I only have a form for certificate. So I opted the online space because haihitaji karatasi mingi, just basic computer skills and basic English, if I may say that. So I've been working as a transcriber for the last, let's say, two or more years, since 2021. And I'm benefiting, I'm earning, like, on the online platforms, it's a livable amount since it's like between 25 to 35,000 a month. So that's a livable amount from where I live, because nikombere, so living standards aziko juu sana. I come from Mbere South, Kiambere ward to be specific. So I think when you wanajua those places, mnajua economy haiko juu sana, tuko na ndengu kwa shamba. So I don't have to buy everything. Thank you.
Thank you for that testimony. I want to bring in Google here. Many of us who are online have heard of Google. And I think getting a segue from that testimony, Michael, we know Google is known for organizing information for us, and content creation, which is part of what Faith is doing online, is something that you are also part of. So please speak to those opportunities you see online as a big player, multinational, and how you're also collaborating with the government efforts for the digital economy.
Thank you very much, Andrew. Your Excellency, the Prime Cabinet Secretary, Your Excellency, Madam Governor, all assembled guests. In terms of collaborating with government on digital transformation, Stanley has talked about infrastructure. We have been supporting government a lot on extending the infrastructure for connectivity, especially in government institutions. In fact, just this week, we were briefing CS Owalo on the conclusion of a project in which we've helped connect 90 government institutions to the government national fiber backbone through a $5 million grant. And then on digital skills, we are working with the Ministry of Education to bring Android developer training to TVET institutions, so that beyond training our young people in TVETs on the skills like hand-based skills, we also want them to be a source of developers who will take Kenya to the next frontier as destination for coding and tech startups. The other opportunities that are also available for young people, in fact, right now, if you go on Google and search for Google Africa Digital Skills, you find so many courses that you can take for free, from the basic on what it means to be online, on how online can transform your job, to even how you can be a developer. And these are courses that even someone like Faith can take, and anyone else here can take for free and build their skills. We are supporting the government's Presidential Digital Talent Program, administered by Stanley's organization here, with scholarships for all the interns. We are providing scholarships through the Google Career Certificate. Google Career Certificate is a very highly regarded course. It would normally cost $14 per month. For every month you have to be doing it. Normally it would take about 6 months to take. And we are offering scholarships for everyone, and it's actually regarded as one of the most marketable certifications out there. So yeah, those are the ways in which we are engaging and partnering, and the opportunities available online.
Thank you, Michael, for helping us understand the collaboration between the private sector and the government. And you mentioned the Jitume project, skills development. And this brings me to you, JP. I know Konza is at the heart of that program with TVETs. And for those who are maybe in this area, maybe you can tell us a little bit more about that. And as you tackle that, everyone knows Konza is really our flagship for smart cities. And maybe you can touch around what that master planning process has been. Is it for real? Ama nikipindi? As the vijana wangeuliza, ama nikipindi re? And what that how it dovetails into the urban planning and the housing vision that the government has. Over to you.
Thank you, Andrew, the moderator, our Prime Cabinet Secretary, Excellency the Governor, all protocols observed. In Konza Technopolis, we've been able to plan for the Africa Smartest City, and it began a while back through the Vision 2030 planning process. It also had to do with the feasibility study that was conducted in a way that has been defined by international standards, and that has defined most of the guidelines, all the guidelines that we've had as far as planning, master planning for the master city is concerned. While we are doing master planning for the city, it has been done in a way that we first began by looking at the number. What is the population that we intended to serve? And that now goes into the planning, where we are now able to allocate the various parcels and utilities that are involved for the population. So that has helped us to define the infrastructure that we are putting in place, because we know we are putting infrastructure in place to serve a particular number of people. And basically that is what urban planning is all about, where you plan for the future. You don't plan for the numbers that you have. In other words, most of our cities, they developed in a way that the population came first, and then now we were rushing back to put in the utilities. But in Konza Technopolis, we started by having the infrastructure in place, and that is what we've done currently. And therefore, we are ready now to host the investors and the population that will come into it. In phase one, we've planned for 17,000 residents, but at full build-out, we'll be having 240,000 residents that will be facilitated. All our infrastructure, as far as water reticulation, the water treatment plant, the roads, and also the utilities that we've laid with the population, intended population in mind. So as far as benchmarking with the other county governments that are currently in the process of planning their cities, it is important that we plan our cities, we master plan our cities first, then now we are able to develop the infrastructure. We don't have to wait for the population to come in and then now try to fix in the utilities. So that is what we'd encourage, that going forward, our counties are able to take that into account. Now, you mentioned Jitume program, which we are currently enrolling and deploying. Basically, the Jitume program was launched by His Excellency the President in December. And in the phase one, Jitume program is about enhancing digital literacy in our population. And it seeks to provide the devices to the youth, and also provide digital training skills to the youth. And eventually, the ultimate goal is to link the youth with the digital jobs. In the world over, we have about 10 million jobs, approximately, that is currently not tapped. Most of the digital jobs are currently deployed in India and Philippines, and not because they were better than us, but it's that as a country, we had not looked at the knowledge economy as an aspect. And therefore, Jitume program seeks to provide the digital literacy that will help our citizens to have the skills in readiness for embracing the digital jobs that we are looking at. In phase one, we've been able to target the TVET institutions, and we targeted the TVET institution just to see how the program would roll out. And basically, because TVETs were already have the necessary infrastructure, the connectivity, and the students in place. And therefore, it's easy. It made it easy to roll out the program. And currently we've done 56 institutions, about 5,100 devices in the phase 1. And we intend that by end of June, we shall have done at least 2 TVETs per county, so that the program is spread all over the country. Now, in phase 2, we intend now to work together with our counterparts at ICT Authority to roll out the smart hubs, which in the plan, under the digital superhighway, we have about 1,400 digital hubs that will be rolled out. So phase 2, as phase 2 will begin immediately, we'll be able now to establish the digital hubs. And this is done to inspire our population and the youth to embrace digital skills and digital jobs, because the government is working towards providing these digital jobs to the youth. And currently, through the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Minister of Labor, we are able to start aggregating the jobs that will be needed. This training is free for all and is free for anyone and everyone who is interested. And you don't have to have had an ICT background. It's a program that seeks to provide us with the initiative to have self-drive, to be able to get gainful employment. Thank you.
Thank you, JP. Msichoke, tunamalizia sasa. So I have 2 more quick questions and then I'll throw it to the plenary. Sababu ya wakati, maswali yatakuwa mawili tu na mtanisamea sababu ya wakati. Let me jump to you, Martin, because you're in the county. I'm sure with colleagues in the national government, there are things you're doing also for Embu County. In a very short period of time, highlight 1 or 2 of the flagships that speak to the MSMEs in Embu County so that they are aware.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Moderator, Honorable CS, Prime CS. Yes, we are doing a lot of stuff in Embu County to ensure that the youth and the MSMEs are engaged in the digital world. One of the things we are doing is that we have ensured that the ICT and the digital space has been included in the CIDP program. So Her Excellency the Governor has included e-commerce portals and the skill set portal to ensure that all the skills we have within the youth and the MSMEs are covered. I'll put up there to the world to see what Embu County can do in terms of ICT. Now, the other thing we are doing is what my Waziri stated here, that we are automating the whole business permits and payment processes, and we are actually coming up with a self-service portal that will be rolled out, whereby our MSMEs can be able to connect to that portal and be able to get their licenses, and we'll connect with the ICT authority with the e-commerce portal so that it is a seamless application. So once you come to us or once you go online, you'll apply for your business permit. That permit, connects you to the government portal as well as our own portal, and you are able to register there and you can be able to do your business online. And for youth like those who are going through the Ajira program, we'll be asking you to assist us in the villages to make sure that the businesses that are in those villages are able to register online and they are able to get their licensing online. Now, the other thing we are doing is we are collaborating with the multinationals. Already this week, we have Meta, who is the owner of Facebook, coming to do training at the Talent Academy, whereby we encourage all those people who are in businesses or who have set up their own businesses to come to the Talent Academy. On Tuesday, we'll be having a training from Facebook, and they'll show you how to do your business online. And there are so many other programs we are coming up with Google and all the other multinationals to make sure that our youth here are trained on digital platforms. Thank you.
Thank you for the brevity. Na wale vijana mko hapa, you know where to find Mheshimiwa for more details. Last but definitely not least, Bwana Mwiti, your company stands for tech-enabled SMEs. Wacha nikupatie dakika mbili uhubirie wenzako hapa vijana. So what are those opportunities you think they should not be missing out listening to government, listening to the county? Najua utakuwa chap.
I will. His Excellency the Prime CS, Madam Governor, And Moderator, thank you very much for this opportunity. I think I will be very brief because most of the things that I'll be saying, they've been said by the government side. I'll be mentioning Ajira and the other Jitume program. I think the young people need to tap on that knowledge, and it's free. And I am also happy to understand that even the counties are coming in this process of training people, and it's free. I want to talk to the young people. It is good to get that knowledge and to watch the government on whatever they are doing, and especially the ICT board, the ICT authority, with the upcoming, I think they want to install over 5,000 Wi-Fi hotspot or something. I think it's so nice. The SMEs, MSMEs, it is nice to, it is good to follow up on the Uduma. I'll be mentioning Uduma centers. It is good to register your businesses, and mostly the young people, they are not aware that the process of registering a business shouldn't be expensive, and you don't need to go and get conned by people up there. Just land on at the Huduma centers. You will get all the services you need there. Now from there, KRA to pay your taxes, and I think that's all. With the knowledge that you've been getting from Ajira and the rest, I think you will be able to be able to sell yourself online, and regardless of what you are selling, it doesn't have to be that you are selling ICT products. I think everyone right now has a phone, and whoever needs anything, the first thing they do, they go and try and research Google. So now, after you register your businesses, you have complied with the tax, now go register your website and you are ready. Thank you.
Asante sana. Kama uko na burning question, burning, ile ya kuchoma, chipukizi atakupatia microphone.
Yes.
Please, just 2 quick questions, rapid fire, and then I hand it back over to chipukizi. Iko swali tafadhali?
There is one there.
Okay.
And there is another
And
one
a second
there.
one. Okay. Thank you.
Tunaweza tukaanza na huyo.
Swali peke yake, usitupatie
Check.
ile background na commentary, swali tu.
Okay. Swali yangu, I have a question concerning artificial intelligence. You have talked about the ICT, and one of the challenges that we are facing, it's a global challenge, is on artificial intelligence, and the roaming issue of loss of jobs in artificial intelligence. So how is the government able, and how, what are the policies that are going to regulate AI, because it is mainstream na inakuja to revolutionize the market? Number 2 is on cryptocurrency. Kama sasa I am unemployed, though ni graduate, but niko unemployed, so na delve into trading and digital economy. So nauliza hivi, is it safe to invest, or rather in cryptocurrency, and is it regulated by the government? Thank you.
Asante. The other question that was
Yeah.
in the middle here?
Okay, thank you. My name is Joel Ruta from Kericho. I want to put my questions to the 2 officers there. In Kericho County, okay, you've talked about public internet connectivity. We have one in Kericho, in Kericho County, but yes, the infrastructure is there, but that internet is not accessible. That's one. Number 2, in Kericho County also in 20 some years back, they rolled out a wide area network that was touching all the sub-counties. But today, we've never seen the benefit of that wide area network. So the youth that were supposed to benefit from that wide area network through business outsourcing, as you've just said, up to date, they have no hope. Thank you.
Thank you. Mtaniwia radhi kwa leo tukubali hao maswali. Nafikiri Bwana Stanley utachukua maswali. Alafu tumalizie.
Thank you very much. The gentleman who talked about AI. Indeed, AI is a threat, but is also a huge opportunity for us. And every technology revolution presents this kind of opportunities and also threat for those of us who do not adopt. One of the skills that we are training people under the Jitume program in collaboration with Konza is actually what we call machine learning. Training machines so that they can be able over time to do the work that human beings do. So that means the person who is doing that work, if they do not learn new skills, they will not have work to do. And that applies for all of us. So the challenge then is that we need to take advantage of the digital space to be able to see this trade that I do, what can I do with it through technology-enabled tools. And, you know, from a policy perspective, we do have a government task force that was established in the last administration. And I believe maybe our PS will be able to touch on that in terms of implementation of those recommendations going forward. But in addition to that, and JP mentioned the digital hubs. The idea behind the digital hubs is to train people on these new emerging technologies. One of the partners that we are working with on the area of online jobs says that so far they have over 10,000 jobs, but there are no takers. Now, when we go to the establishment of these hubs, we want to spur the online job market in all areas, including AI, the areas that the teams in Ajira are already participating on, but also other professionals. Today, we have a lot of outsourcing by some of our companies from India, Philippines, and so on, in terms of the areas of finance and accounting and other processes, but we are not seeing the same here. And not only those deemed white-collar jobs, also the other jobs of, you know, masons, plumbing, and so on and so forth. There are opportunities there which we can be able to take up. But we also hope that we should be able, through these hubs, to train other people, and then we spur and encourage them to also set up their own private hubs. We assist them to aggregate jobs, and then we scale up with the help of the entrepreneurs. On the area of cryptocurrency, again, this is another frontier in terms of trading and investments. The Central Bank of Kenya have issued certain guidelines and regulations. I think there's some laws that are being progressed. The advice is that you check with the central bank before you put your money into cryptocurrency. They have already at least started the process of authorizing those people who you can be able to engage with. There's an issue raised on public Wi-Fi not being accessible. One of the biggest challenges that we have faced when we are implementing these public Wi-Fis is the issue of power, where we install the public Wi-Fi, and then probably we have done it in a market, and then there's nobody, because the equipment requires, you know, power. So that where we install these gadgets, then also, because, you know, in those markets, there are security lights. and there are other recurring bills that are paid. And we are having a conversation in terms of, can then that be accommodated as part of that. But in the long term, we are looking at sustainable solutions. And we do have technologies that allow us to pair our devices with solar power so that we can be able to sustainably deploy this. But as I close, and it's something that Your Excellency, you mentioned in another forum we were in, is that we are willing to cede control even as we implement these initiatives. We are going to be involving a lot of the small and medium scale enterprises in this process so that they can also help us to scale the internet connectivity, the digitization effort, and so on and so forth. Thank you very much.
Makofi kwa panelists wangu wote na makofi mengine kwa chief guest wetu governor kwa kuvumilia. Nafikiri wakati mwingine tunasahau speech zinakuja mwanzo alafu tunaongea makini sana. Build all of you to trust in our brand.ke na nyote tukutane wapi? Kwa mtandao. Chipukuzi, kazi kwako.
Asante sana. Wapi makofi ya CEO tafadhali? Thank you so much, sir, for taking us through that session. I'm being told that tumekuwa live on KBC, Your Excellency, so people at home are able to follow the conversation. Thank you so much, KBC, for